And we're back with Out of the Rut. I'm your boy X.
This is Ron. This is Billy.
And we're going to be interviewing our boy Erhan today. We're going to be chatting about some stuff, looking to change some lives and give some fives. So if you're a returning listener, welcome back. If you're new to the pod, glad to have you back. Or, glad for your joining the crew, I suppose. Hopefully you have a good time joining us on this journey of just getting to know people, hear about their stories, and hopefully help you out along the way. This is Out of the Rut. All right, Ron, take it away and introduce our guest for the listeners, my friend.
Yeah, this is Erhan. He's going to be with us today, talking about what he does for, work and everything. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? What do you do for work, your hobbies? We know you became a dad not too long ago, so you could talk about that. Let us get to know you.
Yeah, so thanks for having me. What I do for work is I sell gym memberships, and I started doing that when I was 18, so.
And how old are you now, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 25 now, so it's kind of unusual to have 7 years experience in the field. I see people interviewing here trying to get a role, and they're like 26 with degrees and 30 and whatever. They have this huge background. Me, I graduated high school, and I was just a guy that was passionate about health and wellness. I saw the difference that it made for me. And then I ended up getting a position where I was exercising at. And from there, I carried it throughout all the way up to today. I moved companies a few times, but, ultimately I'm still doing the same thing. And as far as hobbies go, what I like to do on my off time outside of exercise, the biggest thing that I've been focused on is building a home for me and the family. And, you get so involved in that. And we moved in December 20th, so, production's pretty much done, but I had this guy come over and he was putting in my countertops, and, we're always focused on what's to come. Everyone has an agenda, everyone has an itinerary or something to do. So they're always wondering, like, what's next? What's next? What else do I have to get done? What other ladder do I have to climb? And that was me in that moment while I pretty much was the project manager or GCing the project. So I was calling like all the separate trades to come and help and get the job done. And with that on your mind, wondering, what's the inspector going to say about the carpentry or plumbing or electric or this or that or the cabinetry when we're finishing it up and whatever. All that stuff's on my mind and what else needs to be done so I can make the house habitable for the new family. Me, my wife, and daughter. She's almost 2 now. And this guy that was installing my countertops at the most random time, he just tells me, he's like, oh man, he looks around and he's like, man, I wish that, I could go back to this time. And I kind of look at him weird and I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what? But you're installing my countertops. Like, what time? What are you talking about? And he's like, like you and your lady, new baby, first house, you're picking the tile, the counter, the cabinets, the backsplash, the fireplace. Do you want a dog? Do you not? And, all those things just kind of setting the foundation for the rest of our life and what's to come.
Yeah.
And when he was he was explaining it to me so casually, and I knew that there was a problem when it was so difficult for me to zoom out and comprehend what he's saying. That showed me how stressed I was at the time.
Yeah.
And that happened in a lot of aspects in life. We take so many steps to work towards something. And if we don't reach that finish line, there are times when we feel like we failed or we're not as appreciative of where we are today.
Sure.
And me zooming out in that moment, it just helped me realize to celebrate the steps that are taken, even though you're not at the top yet or what your top is perceived to be for the family. Celebrate the steps that you've taken. There's been situations or scenarios that have been way worse that we've been in. And here, the biggest thing we're worried about is, man, let's finish this house we're building so we can move in as a family. Man, what tile should we use? Man, what's this?
It's funny because like you think about like building the house, right? And you're like building the house to create memories in it, right? Like that's the concept. But like the process of building the house in itself is there's a lot of memories just there and a lot of process. Like
Right.
it's I think of it in this way, whereas like, you know, how people say, oh yeah, well, you always remember the bad experiences more than the good, right? Or you remember like the bad times stick in your brain differently than the good memories do. And we often sort of like reflect on those good memories of like, oh, they're good, but like, God, I really remembered when this bad thing happened. And it's like, you know, it's kind of the same thing with that process too. It's like the memory isn't having the thing. It's the process you took to get the thing that you were trying to get in the first place. Like that's the fun part. That's the memory. That's the challenge and the process, right? Like I imagine that has to be like, if someone is like you who's into the hobby of being very handy, like you have to sort of find appreciation in those moments, I imagine.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I look at it now, and when it's all done, all said and done, pretty much, I see my daughter and she's running around like dog off a leash, like running around the island, circles. Then she gets on the couch and she's jumping on the couch, and I grab her, you know, because she's going to fall. So get down. Then she's running up the stairs, you know, almost 2 years old. And she's like holding the wall, running up the stairs. And I'm looking for her. What are you doing? She's literally top half of the body in this play chest, and her legs are sticking up because she's like reaching for all the toys, you know. Yeah. And then I pick her up, and it's like as if you stuck her in a vending machine and she grabbed all the toys. So you pick her up, and she's like the claw, you know.
Yeah.
So she's got all these toys when I pick her up. Then I take her back downstairs to another floor, and she's running around and she's laughing, and I'm like, man, like when you think of your childhood, like how you grew up,
those are the moments that you're like, wow, I was like so amazed by everything at that time.
Yes.
And to know that she's having that moment.
And then at the same time, I don't know if you guys ever look up the homes on like Zillow or something that you grew up in.
Every once in a while.
Look up the homes that I grew up in?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I'll out myself. Yes, I do. I have.
Yeah, like I looked up.
I just look up homes I can't afford.
I was gonna say. I thought you were gonna say like I don't know if you guys look at homes. I was gonna be like, no, hard pass. Not in this lifetime, buddy.
Right. There was a home I grew up in the southwest suburbs of Chicago, and a lot of memories, right?
Sure.
But it's like childhood memories, so like you remember the impactful ones. And I look it up, and then I see the pictures on Zillow, and I'm like, man, that place seemed so much bigger to me. You know, like it was like lavish. And I look at it today compared to where we are now, and I'm like, oh man, like we were
because you're a grown man now. You know what I mean? You were a little boy, Erhan.
Yeah, but we were like just making it, you know. And my parents did such a great job of making it feel like we had it all when we really didn't. Sure. You know, my dad worked at a restaurant, my mom worked at Walmart, so it's not like, you know, like they're in finance or something.
Yeah, you weren't growing up in mansions or nothing.
Yeah, exactly. But they did such a great job of making it feel like we got it all. Whatever you want, baby. You know, we've got it. And it blew again, zooming out, you know, it put it in perspective. But now I see my daughter, how happy she is, and the home that she has, you know. Home is what you make of it, right?
Sure, absolutely.
Whether it's
house ain't a home. A home's what you
home's
want.
what you make of it. Yeah, it's as large or as little as it may be, but back to appreciation of the moments that you're in, you know, and not being so fixated on the end outcome or where you want to be. I'm happy to be in the position that I am, even though we don't have everything we want or we're not exactly where we want to be, right? You could always make more money, always have more money, have more things or whatever. But
sure.
Appreciate the spot that you're in. That's the biggest thing that I learned along the way, and it helps as a family, you know, reconciling, bringing the family together. It's something that when you have that foundation, right, to appreciate what you have, it makes everyone feel whole, like everything that they do is enough for one another, as little or as great as it may be, even though it's, you know, all that you have is enough for me by all means.
Dude, that's really humbling there, Erhan. Dude, love the story, man. Is that like, so obviously, like, you know, we talked about, you brought up you were in sales since 18. I think like a question that I always like to start with when it comes to our guests on here is like, can you recall a time when you were in a rut, whether it be in your work or your personal life, and maybe how that made you feel, how you were able to get yourself out of that rut and still be like, hey, you know what? I got shit to do. You know, I got to keep doing what I'm doing, or you made a change of some sort, you know? Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
What kind of rut? Like, what would you?
I mean, it could be any kind of rut. like, say, hardships financially or with relationships
Or I think of or even like in sales, like has there ever been like a span of time where you've gone in and you were like, yo, I really don't want to fucking do sales anymore, but like you knew that this is what you wanted to do or what you were good at doing and wanted to continue.
What you gotta do. Yeah, what you gotta do to get paid. I mean, it's not something. Nobody comes in and they're like, yo, I love sales. This is what I do. I'm doing this every single day.
It's almost like you have to trick yourself into thinking that a little bit.
The hardest part is no matter how good or bad you feel, you got to turn it on for whoever's in front of you.
Sure.
So, like, let's say you sell 40, or as an example. How many calls do you think it takes to get people to show up? And then from those people that show up to close 40 of those people.
A lot. You're probably talking hundreds of calls.
Thousands of calls. You should see the month-to-date calls. I've got like 2,000 calls. Then all these appointments. And then 40 people ultimately end up closing.
Sure.
But whether you're sick, happy, sad, pissed off, depressed, whatever's going on, people coming in, they don't care.
So can you so you deal with rejection a lot in sales, pretty much 100%. Any type of sales, a lot of rejection.
100%.
Like, has that rejection ever or has a surplus of that rejection ever like pushed you to the edge of like, God, like I really don't want to freaking do this anymore. This fucking sucks, and like, then kind of from there, tell us how like, what mantras you tell yourself to be like, what, cool, I lost it there for a little bit, but I'm back in the game.
Kind of like it douses you, kind of like gases a flame because you already have a flame going. So, someone picks up the phone and they have an attitude with you or whatever. Or you're talking to them, they're like, yeah, I'm interested. Click. They just hang up right in your face.
They're like, yeah, totally.
Or you get the, oh yeah, hold on. And then their voice fades away and then click, they hang up. Or it's someone that's like, oh yeah, I'll pay today. Call me at 4. Okay, call at 4. Yeah, I wasn't serious. Pff, click, and they hang up in your face. Just the BS.
So what I'm hearing from you is like you're pretty much constantly going in and out of ruts just on the daily.
Yeah, but you got to keep going. And if you stop, one thing that's super important to realize is no one will do it for you by any means. When the message is clear, we win together. We ball out, we have a good time. But if you're not doing your part, no one will help you do your part. So you have to save yourself, regardless of the scenario that you're in. Let's say you're someone that produces 40 every month, and halfway through the month, you got 10. Who's going to come and, hey, bro, I got this 30 for you, or, hey, you keep going, you'll get these 30.
Yeah.
Nope, you got to give yourself that mirror check or that head check. And if you fail to do that, then that's when you get deeper in the rut. And then your rut becomes the way you are. And people change.
So what's like going through your mind in those? Like, are you thinking about your family? Is it like just something like clearly internal, like, hey, like,
yeah, 100%. That's all you're thinking about. If I won't do it for my family, who's going to do it for them?
True that.
You feel like Atlas or Hercules. And you're holding up that world and you want it to be as unbothered as possible. So if you can take all the bothers away, you would. And that's what you do. So I've been sick for 3 weeks. I've never been sick this long. And
Damn.
3 weeks. And people are like, oh, you should get a blood panel. Maybe you're deficient in something or whatever. And I'm like, man.
You're like, I'm deficient in money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I got to do my thing.
I got a money deficiency.
Yeah, you leave here and you stop, and then you're like, all right, so, that pauses for a moment.
Sure.
But time's going to keep going. And we talked about that finish line that you feel like that there is. And there's not necessarily a finish line, right? Because things always evolve.
Yeah, the finish line is always moving. The goalpost is always moving.
Right. But the most important thing is, even if you don't want others that you care for to be vulnerable, even if it means that you put yourself in a vulnerable spot. So I'll sacrifice my time and efforts to ensure the security of my wife and my family at home. You know what I mean? So if stuff hits the fan and, who knows what's going to happen tomorrow, they feel safe. And I know that I'm going to figure it out because I've been in positions like through sales where you're like, oh, where am I going to get these 30? There's 7 days left. But you have that fire within you and you figure it out. And it's through past behaviors where you picked up those tools or those skills where you start to dig in your toolbox and you start to make it happen. Because no one else is going to make it happen for you.
And I'm sure at some point either Billy, Ron, or myself will ask a question as far as like the resilience of what it takes to be a sales rep, because there is resilience there. You have to be able to take a lot of rejection, as you kind of mentioned. So I'm sure we'll kind of dive into a little bit of that specifically later on. But let's get into the sales. Let's talk about Erhan's journey. And I like to ask this question, and we'll kind of rotate a little bit. But like, do you think, in your opinion, as your experience with sales, because I'll say this until the cows come home. I say this almost every episode. I am a collegiate skeptic. I think college is valid for a lot of facets of the professional world. Mm-hmm. I often think it is often over pushed onto young people with the idea of wanting them to go into debt versus going to debt for something that they don't necessarily need. I'm very skeptical of that. So I always like to ask this question too. Like, as far as your experience when sales go, do you think a college degree is 100% necessary to be successful in sales?
No, not 100% necessary to be successful in sales. I don't have a degree.
Yeah, see,
I graduated in May of 2018 and got my first job in not even August, 3 months after.
Yeah.
And I got it because I was working with the trainer. And, high school kids, they want a discount, they're
trying to save that dollar.
Yeah. Oh, what can I do? What can I do for a discount? So the guy's like, oh, you could work here and I can give you like 25% off your training as an employee or whatever. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll get a job here. No problem. And then he referred me to the sales manager, which I didn't know. And then I applied. And on my way to my first interview, I crashed my car. Can you
that
believe
should have
that?
been a sign.
Oh, Can you believe that? So it was like stop and go traffic, and I was 18 at the time. So in the stop and go traffic, it's like 45 mile per hour zone, but it's like we're going 10 and 0, 10 and 0, 10 and 0. And then we start going 30, we're cruising, and then this guy like slammed the brakes.
Yeah, I've been there.
And I hit him. I had an Ultima at the time, so they totaled it. So
your Ultima, like going 10 miles an hour, that shit was
a Maxima. Sorry, it was a little longer.
A little boink, totaled.
So I called my mom and my stepdad, who's now my stepdad now, or my stepdad at this time, and I'm like, hey, I crashed the car. I'm good, but I got this interview.
Yeah, I need the hookup.
Yeah, can you give me a ride? And I wasn't too privy to Uber and stuff.
Yeah.
At the time, we're talking 7 years ago.
Yeah,
I don't know if it was even around then. So no one got hurt, which was phenomenal. They towed my car, took the insurance and whatever, normal procedure. My mom drives me, drops me off, and I show up 20 minutes early. Still,
nice, wow. Dude.
I sit down.
Way to put your best foot forward, friend.
Oh, man, you wait till I tell you how I started the interview. I sit down. So he walks up and he's introducing himself. And he's like, oh, I'm the sales manager, blah, blah. And I shake his hand real hard.
101, first thing.
Yeah. What's going on? Oh, you're the man. Oh, you're the man I'm supposed to meet. Okay, well, good to meet you. Are we going in the office over here? What do you want to do? Where are we going? And he's like, oh, taken back. He's like, oh, let's go in here.
He's like, chill the fuck out, dude.
Yeah, are you okay? And we sit down, and he started it super formal. So, tell me about your interest in this position because I spoke to the trainer and this. I said, hey, Mr. Sales Manager. I said, I just totaled my car coming here, and my trainer told me you have a lot of applicants here, but I still showed up 20 minutes early. I'm fresh out of high school. I love to work out. I really want to be here, and I want this job. I don't know who else is going to want it more than me, and I don't know how else to prove it to you other than being here today.
Wow.
He looks at me like, what? He dropped his persona. What happened? Are you okay? And I was showing him pictures. I was like, this was literally 45 minutes ago. And that's me dealing with the cop. My car's totaled, and I don't have a job now. So
I need this job to fix this vehicle.
Let's dance, And I was working at.
I could start today.
Prior to that, I was working at Men's Warehouse actually.
Classy.
And I remember I got promoted at Men's Warehouse as a wardrobe consultant. So we would sell like, suits, and I'd put your outfits together and I'd make you feel fly.
Yeah, you're considered a fashionista.
Yeah, exactly. Like a barista at Starbucks, but with clothes. And it was 2 weeks after that I got a phone call, and he asked me like, what are you looking to make every year? And I told him, oh, well, you know what? I need like $700 a week or no deal. And he's like, bro, like, don't say that. He's like, tell them you want like 75,000.
Yeah, dude, like go high, shoot high.
He told me, because that $700 a week, what is that? 3,000, like not even
that's
40 grand.
Nothing, dude. But when you're a kid, that sounds like a lot.
No,
but
exactly. But it wasn't even 40 grand. And the position was like starting like 65. And he's like, bro, if you tell them you want 40 grand, they won't hire you because they think you'll just screw around all day because you're getting paid minimum wage or whatever. And it's more than that, like the minimum base for over there. Mm-hmm. And then I met with, who's actually, funny story, my GM today, where I work, GM where I work today, I met with him for a second interview. And then I'm like a nervous 18-year-old kid. And he asked me like, what wage are you expecting? I'm like, at least $75,000.
Now we're cooking. Now we're cooking.
Every 12 months, sir. And he's like, okay.
He's like, or no deal.
Yeah. Just like I was trained to say. But ultimately from there, I ended up getting the job, and I had a Zoom interview for it was like 5 interviews. It was because I was so young.
Sure.
And the sales manager.
I mean, it's a gamble when you give someone of that caliber, like someone that young and that inexperienced, like a pretty high profile role. Like sales positions are always kind of important because that's how a lot of businesses make their money. Yeah. If you don't have a good sales team, like even if you have the interest, if you don't have a good sales team that can close, like business don't make money.
They get them in the door, and then all the other in-center services can start to make money. But if no one's coming in the door, then there's no money to be made. So the sales manager that first interviewed me told me that they had a panel and they were talking about me, and everyone, they were asking questions and they were kind of dismissing me. And then he asked a question like, all right, guys, so all things the same, if this guy was 24, would we hire him? And they're like, yep. He's like, all right, I'm going to hire him. So I had a 5th interview, and I did like, how people dress up for Zoom interviews, like the top half only or whatever.
Yeah. Bro, no pants, just underwear, but they have a little butt, little tie.
I did tie, pocket silk, sneaks, pants, shirt tucked in.
Heck
with,
you were
the
dressed
belt
to the nines.
And 100%.
Also, can I just like pause to like, you know what? I love that, like that question of like, hey, if this person was 24, would we hire them? Because like so many good employees and good applicants get overlooked just on their age alone.
Yeah.
And it's the idea of like, well, they just don't have experience. And it's like, you know what? Like, let's put it into perspective of someone who has the same amount of experience, but a little bit older. Would we have the same conversation? And it's funny because I don't think a lot of businesses, I don't think that conversation would look the same.
Right.
I think a lot of people would invest in those people who are dedicated regardless of their age, but they just can't overlook the age barrier. So shout out to that person, dude. Shout out to whoever hired you, player.
Oh, 100%. And ageism is real.
Mm-hmm. Both ways.
Yeah.
Goes both ways.
I took my graduation date off of LinkedIn and my resume and all that.
That's smart.
It takes a conversation to find out, and why does it matter? It's your experience fits what a role is desiring. Shouldn't matter what your age is,
Yeah.
So fast forward to a 5th interview that I had. They kept interviewing me because I was so young. They
wanted to find cracks in the armor. They were like, okay, this guy cannot be this good.
Yeah, no way.
He could not want it this bad.
They're like, no way. And on my 5th interview, this guy asked like, oh, let me see your shoes. So if I didn't dress to the 9 and I had like the shorts and no socks on or something, like
he was testing you a little bit.
Yeah, he was. And then after that, I started and been doing it ever since, pretty much.
Dude, well, that's awesome, man. Hey, since 18, how old you said you were again?
25.
25, so 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. I am not good at math.
7 years.
7 years, thank you, Billy.
years,
I'm not good at math.
7 year itch.
I also don't have a college degree, so that explains that. But heck yeah, Billy, Ron, jump in with the question. Erhan,
Yeah.
thank you, man.
So I know you kind of jumped into what got you into the industry and kind of the foots in there. Once you eventually got the position and you're training, you're learning the way about the company. When you are starting your sales, like that first sale you got, tell me about that. Well, how did you feel? How did you approach it? Everything along those lines.
Man, so I walked back in the office and I didn't close them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't close them. And it was actually...
I want to hear about the train wreck. Go ahead. I know there's a train wreck coming. Go ahead.
Oh, man. It was a lady that used to have an account, in the past.
Former member, yeah.
Yeah. She used to have a subscription. And then I walked back in the office and the sales manager's standing up like, yo, like, we got it. And I'm like, no. And he's like, oh, what happened? And I told him, I said, you know what? I said, it was actually really informative because she's been here and she showed me some stuff I didn't know. And
She's selling the club to you.
yeah, she was telling me that this used to be here and that was there. And, the policy is actually this and I was wrong. And she's correcting me. So, yeah, it was a good experience for me. And he looked at me like, what? Like just in complete disbelief. And I told him, yeah, but I'm going to close her. I feel good. I'm going to close her. He's like, when? I said, tomorrow. He said, oh, I'll be dead by tomorrow. And then two days after, she ended up closing through the phone.
Yeah.
But everybody started cracking up. They're like, oh yeah, she whipped them around. And because imagine like someone showing the car and then the consumer's like, no, that's actually wrong. It's this. And why don't you test drive it? Like they tell the salesperson, why don't you
You're like,
test
this
drive
engine is in this. And they're like, no, it's not that engine. It's this engine.
Yeah,
do you want to drive it? Are you sure you don't need a test ride?
And then I'm like, no, that's a great idea. Let me test drive it. Yeah, no, I'll be right back. Can you grab the key from my boss? Can you grab
I'd say other than like policy related things, like anything else that you learned from that experience, like, hey, maybe I shouldn't have said this, or maybe I should have said this way, that kind of stuff. Like,
no, she just whipped me around and I mean, took me for a spin. But I mean, you're young and you're figuring the biggest thing is one thing that's super important in sales is maintaining control of the conversation and steering the dialogue while making them feel empowered. And I learned that with experience now.
Yeah.
But at that time, she was driving and I'm sitting in the back.
You're in the booster seat.
And I don't know where we're going. And she told me don't ask. So that's how that was. But
she got the navigation on, you in the booster seat in the back with a lollipop.
with a blindfold. I don't know what was going on. She ran circles on me. So that was the first one ever.
That is effing hilarious.
Yep. Learned my lesson from that. Oh, something else. When I was training, I was so bad on the phone. Super bad. Like someone would call in and ask about product or, subscriptions. And the sales manager that hired me, we stayed. There was a test out, first of all, that I should explain. And when you got onboarded, like 2 weeks after, you had a test out. And if you failed your test out, you're fired from the job.
Jesus.
That you just got. Yeah, they were serious. So they would do an cell phone test out. And then a week after that, like an evaluation of how you present the product. If you fail either one, you're fired and you're gone. That's
like
it.
on the spot.
Yep. On
like
the spot,
pack your
you're
shit
done.
and leave.
Pass, fail, you're out.
Damn. Wow. Dude, that's pretty cutthroat shit.
So I had my phone test out coming up in like 2 days and I was just bombing it. I was good in person, but over the phone, I'm like bombing it. So this guy was sitting, the facility I was at the time was 24/7 as well. Mm-hmm. So he was staying like late with like midnight, staying with me like run it again. Don't say this, don't do that, do that. And I'm like scripting it, writing it down and I'm reading it back and looking in the mirror, practicing, reading it. Then I get on the phone.
Getting the reps in.
We would do this exercise where we sit like chairs back to back and then you would talk towards that wall and I talk towards this wall as if we're on the phone.
Yeah.
It was a little different than actually being on the phone. It was a good exercise. And then I would get on the phone and ultimately I ended up passing. But he was putting in so much effort with this new kid, me, 18 years old, to nail it. And, you know, before you zoom out, you're like, why the hell is this guy putting in so much effort? Like, just this 18-year-old kid, like, you got it. Like today, I feel like when you interview today and you get employed, they don't do what he did for me. Like you have it or you don't.
It's really like, it really hit or miss. And like, you really have to find a special person that really wants to invest in the progression of young people. And like, I feel pretty fortunate in that way too. And that's a lot of how like my career in fitness started, was a lot of just like someone taking a gamble on me and willing to teach me stuff. And was like, hey, you know absolutely freaking nothing, but I'm going to dedicate the time to teach you something. And hopefully hope to God it sticks and you're able to kind of make a career out of this. But that's not something that you see very often.
So many times. I mean, they're using AI to filter through your resumes even. You know, they're getting
they're looking for like buzzwords.
Yeah, they're doing 1,000 applications and dismissing 990 of them and looking at these last 10. And then you have what we want or you don't. You have it or you don't. And we're not willing to teach it. You got to have it.
Yeah.
But this guy with this 18-year-old kid, me, is putting in so much effort. And then it just blossomed. I blossomed into what I am today. And then I teach others now as well. You know, how to master their craft. And what's being taught isn't just sales, you know, how to close. It's life skills, you know, the ability to have conversation and be direct and problem solve. You apply that to anything, you know, whether it's your girlfriend, your parents, a broken family that you want to mend back together, friends that you hang out with. Like, it's not like things that are getting taught are just so you're good at your job. It helps with all things in life. You know, when you negotiate to buy a house, your first house, you're negotiating, right? You're having conversations with them. You're coming up with an idea with a friend to organize something. You're setting up birthday parties. You know, there needs to be some directive.
I was going to say, do you feel like the communication piece that you've developed through being in sales, do you feel like that's bled into your personal life to where like you would consider yourself a good communicator? Not even just with like, you know, like your example of like kids parties or buying a home, but like in your relationship with your family, like do you consider yourself a good communicator? And do you kind of like, do you attest some of that skills to just being in sales and having a lot of conversations? Or is it the opposite where like you have so many conversations all day that you're like, fuck, the last thing I want to do is have more conversations?
No, it's 100%. The answer is yes. I feel like it did help my life. And it also helped me put stuff in perspective where you say things that you necessarily wouldn't have thought to say before. Like I had a conversation with my mom a year ago and I told her, look, like we have this relationship, you know, mother and son. And I've been working so much building what you're seeing. She sees what I'm building. It's not like, you know, I'm blowing money on nonsense. I'm working for my family, building a house, stuff like that. But the conversation that I had with her was, how can I help you be happier as a woman and not just as my mom? You know, because she has this relationship with my stepdad. And she had this, you know, my children first mentality by any means, you know, my children first by any means is the mentality that she has, which is
shout out to mom.
Yeah, exactly. You know, like any mother would, but she's done a great job and my dad's done a great job to allow me to be in the position I'm in today, to do what I do and build what I'm building. So I wanted to have a conversation with her about how I can help her so she doesn't feel like she's just, you know, giving all she has out to her kids still. And she's so dedicated to them because I want her to be happy too. Sure. You know, not like she's just sacrificing herself and her happiness for the sake of our happiness. So,
which I'm sure to some degree is a labor of love for her to do, but still you want them to be able to like, if you're thriving, you want them to thrive too.
Well, the conversation was, how can I help you feel better as a woman, you know, in your relationship? Like, what do you need for me to take care of so you feel less concerned and your relationship can continue to nurture, you know, with your husband, my stepdad.
Yeah.
And that's not a conversation that I ever thought of before, you know.
It's an interesting angle. Like our parents are people too.
Yeah. Our parents are people, you know, and it's zooming out again. Like, how can I help you? Not as my mom, but to feel better as a person. Like, what do you want to do? You want to travel? You want to go here? You know, do you want to spend more time with your
grandbabies?
With the granddaughter? Do you want to spend less time? Do you feel like I'm putting too much on you? You know, so asking those questions, so it's not like anyone's assuming anything.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah. That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. More questions. Shoot them off, gentlemen.
I'll hit you with one more. So now that you've kind of established, you know, you're in sales, you've been doing it for a while, you enjoy it and stuff. When someone walks in, whether if it's a walk-in or if it's an appointment or call, how do you approach like informing them on everything and just kind of what's your approach to all that?
The most important thing that I do is start to understand this person and their habits. You know, what kind of person am I dealing with? And through conversation, you can start to identify like, oh, I just bought a car. You know, let's say they're coming in for a gym membership.
Yeah.
And you're talking to them and they're so excited. Oh, I just bought my car. Oh man, like what kind of car did you get? Okay, they're telling you about it. How long were you thinking about that? What I just asked her, that's a key question. Because they're going to tell me, man, I've been thinking about it for years and I finally made the decision. So now I understand, okay, this is a person that takes a lot of time on the money that they're going to, on making the decisions that they're going to make with the money that they're going to spend.
They're not impulsive.
Yeah, you spent years. You were so excited to tell me that too. Years to get the car that you want. Well, the next question that I ask, it's super important. Now, my follow-up, it's genuine, but it's also another key factor for me. Oh, you spent years thinking about it. Okay, so what helped you decide that this was the time and what made this car the car? Completely unrelated to the subscription and what they're looking for. But these questions that I'm asking, it's kind of probing in a light way that builds rapport. And I'm identifying this person's buying habits. You know, what's important to them. Then I identify what have they done in the past. So, oh, Billy, thanks for coming in today. You know, you're telling me about this car, blah, blah, blah. We're moving forward. And okay, a next soft landing that I would lay out is, are you going to a club now? And are you looking to switch over? Or have you not been going anywhere for a while? So when I ask that question, I'm finding out a couple of things. First, if you're going somewhere, now you're looking to leave. So I know right away, okay, there's a problem where you're at. And you're looking for something different.
That's pretty good.
Or if you haven't been going anywhere, let's say you told me, no, I haven't been going anywhere for a couple years. Oh, okay. So how long have you been thinking about this? You see how I'm tying in the car analogy?
It's funny because like like what is often I think perceived as a really like easy get to know you question is actually very telling. Like it's saying a lot. It's saying a lot.
And it's giving me a lot of information on how to frame this conversation and speak to you. You know, so if you're someone that's got buying habits that you buy today, like you like what you see and you pay for it, I speak to you a lot differently than someone that comes in and, yeah, we might move to the area in 6 months. We're thinking about it, but we still live in Ohio and we just happen to be in the area. So two different kind of conversations I'm going to have with those two people. So let's say you told me that in that instance, like it's been a couple years and, oh, you've been thinking about it for like 6 months. That timeline that you're giving me, now I'm trying to identify the significance to that time. So, oh man, 6 months, like why didn't you act sooner? It's a subtle question, but it gives me a lot. You'll be like, I just been busy, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so what? Because usually it's a blanket answer that they give. They don't really give you the meat until later. And the meat could be, oh, well, my parents have, Alzheimer's and I've been helping them, but now I feel like is the time for me to take care of myself. And that's later in the conversation as they start to trust more. But when you say 6 months and they say they've been busy, now it's okay, well, what initiated the thought? Because you stopped doing it for 2 years, but something rekindled that flame 6 months ago. And was it something you saw, something you read, something your friends told you? Now I start suggesting answers so they see that I'm not just interrogating them, but I'm relatable. Like I've done this. Yeah. I've heard this.
You're an active participant in the conversation. You're not just a person asking questions and just like going through the motions of getting to know them. It's like you actually are part of a conversation.
Think about that. Oh, Billy, are you going to a club now? Or like, have you not been going? No, man, I haven't been going for 2 years, but I've been thinking about it. Oh, how long you been thinking about it? Oh, 6 months. Oh, okay. So, tell me about that. 6 months ago, you started thinking about it, and like, why haven't you taken any action sooner? Because 6 months, where would you have been?
Like, what happened at 6 months? Like, what happened?
This is what I tell them. Where would you be today if you started at that time? What differences would you feel? What are you feeling now? And all these questions, you should see how their facial expression changes, because they start to get these nice thoughts, and they love to talk about themselves, and they really want to share with you the questions that you're asking, because today's world, how many people are asking questions like that?
Yeah.
Almost none.
Yeah.
Exactly. Especially when you're day to day in your routine and you're building towards that finish line.
Yeah.
Who's asking you, hey man, I always tell people, hey, check on your people. How are you feeling?
And not even just not through social media either, because like I do think that is something that is kind of like watered down people's desire to want to talk about themselves in person, or like I think sorry to sort of rephrase that. I think it's like what makes talking to someone and getting to know about someone special in person is because like now we have all these social media platforms where like you can post about yourself at any given moment, but like to be honest with you, one, I haven't posted in forever, but like the few times I have, it's sort of like this idea of like I'm posting, but like I know no one really gives a shit but me. But like when you're in person having that conversation, it's like you actively have someone in front of you who actually cares about what you're going through. It's like it's like a really visceral, different feeling, and that alone is kind of bizarre.
And people don't even realize how they act, and then when you point it out, they get super surprised. So I was working with this young lady one time, and just as a super quick, simple example, but she was kind of shocked at how I responded. I'm talking to her in an open area like a cafe, and she's super talkative, chit-chatting with me, chit-chatting with me, chit-chatting with me, chit-chatting with me. And then we step over to the wait area, and she gets like super vague, super quiet, won't look me in the eye. And I had to have that conversation. Like you can't just not say anything, like the vibe just died.
Yeah.
And I told her like, hey, you know what? Can I ask you a question? Like, can I be direct for a second? And she looks at me like, yeah, like what's going on? I said, I don't know. Like you just see how I'm saying it also is I sound confused. So that gives her comfort. Because,
concerned.
No, I'm confused. And the reason I'm sounding confused is because it's giving her comfort to guide me. You guide me now. So the question I asked her was, you know what? You just seem so like excited in the cafe, and we came here, and I don't know. It just feels different. Like, am I wrong to say? Like, does this kind of intimidate you, or can you, like, help me understand? Man, she lit up when I said that.
Wow.
She lit up because I pointed it out. And she's like, yeah, you know what? I've never done this before, and I just didn't know how to say it. But, I appreciate you asking. And no, it's not, nothing that you did or nothing that's wrong about the place. It's just, I'm not comfortable in this space.
And there's a lot of gyms specifically. There's a lot of equipment. There's a lot of stuff that people have never used before. Like, it's overwhelming.
Yeah, but to point that I made a decision. I could point that out and say it subtly with a soft landing, or I could not say anything and move on.
Let the elephant in the room just hang out.
Yeah, there'd be this silence. And then at the end, I would never, she won't close, and I'll never know why. Like, I'll be wondering. And then she'll leave, and I'll call her 10, 20 times after that, following up. And she'll never tell you. There's nothing like the power of the moment, and a phone call 2 days later, it's never going to feel the same as you were right there on the fitness floor, and she's telling you something vulnerable,
Yeah.
Different through the phone.
No.
Interesting.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
So going into these, what is your mindset like going into a sales pitch, like when you're walking up to the member, right? Or like the potential member, right? So where's your mind at? Like what thoughts are going through your head at the moment?
The biggest thing on my mind is getting to know this person, who they are, where they've been, what they want, why they're here, and how I can connect them to what we offer. And sometimes, excuse me, I go through the first 4 and I find out that we can't connect them here and we're not a good fit. And I actually refer them elsewhere. And I tell them, I don't want to waste your time. Go here, go there, go there. They have this, they're this much, they're that much. And I don't want to waste your time, because we're not a fit for everybody.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's just real.
Yeah. They appreciate that.
Has that ever, I was going to say, I'm sure that's very disarming for people who are probably expecting a more traditional sales experience where you're going to be
good fit
pushy.
for everybody.
Yeah, we're going to be pushy and we're going to like, you want this as much as you tell me you don't. You want this. Like, I'm sure that's a little disarming too. And I'm sure it just further kind of establishes that trust mentality.
Yeah. Oh, I've had people that take my recommendations for elsewhere and then they end up coming back here. Because I mentioned, I'm familiar with what's around, all the options that are around.
You got to.
So I tell them, you go here, it'll be like this. You go here, it'll be like this. Our product is this. But you know what? It sounds like that one might be a better fit based off what you're sharing with me. Maybe you could upgrade to this at a later point, but I'll leave it to you to decide. So
yeah,
they end up joining the recommendation and then they come back at a later point in time. But they appreciate the candor.
Yeah, I'm kind of I know that would stick kind of in my mind. Like, I'm sure a couple things would go through my mind, but I'm sure the one thing would be like, why does this person not believe that I'm a good fit for here? And I'd kind of be asking myself that question, not like in an insulting way or like in a degrading way, but like, he thinks it's not a good fit. I wonder why that is. But also like just having that positive interaction of like, hey, I don't know if this is a good fit for you. Like, here are some places where I think you can really fit. Like, everybody's changing and everybody's adapting. So to be able to reflect on that conversation months after the fact and be like, you know what, maybe now's the time I get into this. And I spoke with that guy who is really helpful and not pushy and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's cool. I have a question actually, and it's a little bit on this topic is like, for people who are looking to get into sales with no experience, like I'll tell you the only experience outside of the sales people that I've met through the business and stuff like that, like thinking about when I was a kid is like my idea of what a sales rep is that sort of like that swarmy used car salesman vibe. And like, how do you go about, or how do you feel like those types of things set sales teams back versus what actually being in sales is like?
I think can you repeat that for me, the last part?
Yeah. Sorry. I think like society has a depiction of what being in sales is like, right? Mm-hmm. It's that swarmy, like, yes, used car salesman, like, blah, 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 like really pushy, stigma. Right? And like, how do you think that image negatively affects the sales industry? Or how do you feel like or what are your opinions on the industry, knowing that is sort of like the societal depiction of what it is?
I think it's unfortunate because it's going to make people lose their jobs.
Sure.
Like, think of car salesman and the stigma that there is, and then think of Carvana.
Okay.
If Carvana blew up, and that was like the only way that you could buy cars on Amazon now too.
Yeah.
If that was the only way people bought cars, everyone would lose their jobs. And have you ever bought a car before?
Yes.
Have you bought it on Carvana as well?
I've not.
No.
So I bought two at a dealership, one at Carvana before.
Nice.
Went to the dealership. They told me, oh yeah. So I knew the car I wanted. I knew the price I wanted to pay, which I communicated. And the guy told me, yup, this is the price. This is the car. We got it. It's ready. 90 minutes. Got you. In and out. 90 minutes. Bro, I went in there. I don't know. 6 hours I was in there, and they're trying to add this on there, add that on there, add this warranty on there, and you get it. I get it. They want to make their money.
Sure.
But that's not what was communicated with me ahead of time. I ordered a car on Carvana, 15 minutes. Oh, your loan's approved. Car's getting shipped to you. It'll be there in 2 days.
Yeah.
15 minutes.
Damn.
That's it. You don't talk to anybody. You just type in your social, do the credit check, and they ring it up, and that's it.
Interesting.
It blew my mind, the difference.
And do you think that's a better or worse experience overall?
Way better.
Really? It's faster. It's convenient.
Yeah. It's faster. It gets rid of all the hassle and the back and forth and like the salespeople trying to get a better deal for them than you.
Think about me. I pull up with my wife and my daughter, and my daughter was 3 months. You think I want to play games?
No.
I called you ahead of time. I firmed out the price. I'm packing my family, 3-month-old daughter, and they sleep like crazy. They have their schedules and whatever.
Yeah.
You tell me 90 minutes, I'm planning within my 90-minute schedule, or 3-hour schedule that she's awake, so I'm not messing with her nap time and whatever. Then I pull up, and you want to play games with me.
Yeah.
Like, bro, And then there's this stigma with salespeople, of course, because there's things like that come up. So when you ask about how it impacts sales and my thoughts on that, I think people come in guarded. So it takes an individual to break that barrier. So they come in with their hands up,
Because they're ready to duke it out. They're like, I'm not going to be here for 6 hours.
They come in with a timeline in their head. Like, first, I'm going to think about it. Then I'm going to go online. Then I'm going to call them. Then I'm going to go look. I'm not going to pay anything. They're not going to get me, quote unquote. I'm going to go look. Then I'm going to think about it again. And then I'm going to decide. That's kind of this timeline that they made up in their head. Like, think about it, go online, call, go in. Some people even leave their wallets in their car.
Because they don't want the temptation.
That's how they are. Like, nope, I'm leaving it in my car. And I've closed people. They're like, I got to get my wallet from my car. Like, I'll be right back. I'm like, what? Like, okay.
I'm going to keep that strategy in my back pocket.
I will say, I think it's depending on the generation, because like my dad tells me stories of when he was younger and buying cars and from dealerships, and kind of the same thing you said, go in, take a look at it, think about it. Oh, let me go check somewhere else. And then they're chasing him out the door. Well, I'll give you this, I'll give you that on top of that. And then, of course, to them, price is always haggleable. I want it lower, I want this, I want that. But I guess in today's generation, it's like, let me just, you said, go to Carvana. This is what I'll pay. This is what my monthly is, and boom, I'm done.
Sometimes I wonder though, like you're being like taken advantage of a little bit, like because there is no negotiation, right?
You pay more. Carvana charges more.
Exactly, but like what you're making up in time, you're actually probably wasting in money because you're probably paying more than maybe what the car is worth, but because you don't want to talk to anybody or because I don't want to interact with anyone, I'd rather pay a little bit more and just not interact with someone.
Yep.
And I'm like, how long is that going to be sustainable? And how much in your personal life do you take that approach with? Because you could be paying a lot of money for shit that costs a fraction of what you're paying for because you just don't want to interact with anybody. You're like, great, awesome.
Or like going through that whole headache of like, oh, let me think about it. And then they can say how they, I'll look at it, think about it, go online, call, price check, and then just.
I guess what's, I'm sorry.
No, you yeah.
Excuse me. I think what's different about what I do is it's not like a car, it's not solar panels, it's not roofing, and not to knock those things, right?
Yeah.
Because there's a need. People have a need in all things. But this is, what I do is health and wellness. Like, how can someone get you on having you take care of yourself?
Yeah.
Like you're paying to better yourself. So how do you get God, per se?
Yeah. It's like the only way you're getting tricked is like, oh, I got a gym membership and like didn't get healthier. And it's like, okay, well, like,
I told someone,
fault is that?
So this guy comes, there's a few objections that people utilize just to get out of situations where they feel nervous.
Sure.
So like time, spouse, money. Those are the biggest three. Like, oh, you know what? Yeah, this sounds great, but let me see if I have the time. Or, oh, let me talk to my wife. Or, you know what? Let me just check the financials and make sure that this works out for me. Like, those are the biggest three that you hear.
Yeah.
I had a guy come in and he told, I asked questions like, oh man, is this going to be just for you or the wife or any kid? No, my wife's home, but just me. It's just for me.
Yeah.
Okay, so the conversation was predicated around his interests and what he wants, and how he can utilize this. Get to the end, ready to type his name up, put his card in, whatever. Tells me, let me talk to my wife. Let me ask you a question. What's she going to say? Like, what's that conversation going to be like when you do talk to her? Oh, I don't know. I don't want her to be upset, tells me. Yes, well, if I may, you think she's going to be upset that you told her you signed up for the gym?
It is kind of interesting to think about it that way.
Yeah.
A little bit. It's like, of all the things, it's not like you,
It's not a $50,000 car.
Or like a timeshare somewhere else.
It's not a timeshare. I'm like, you think she's going to be upset that you're going to work hard and take care of yourself and hit it hard in a place that you would enjoy going to?
I'm so mad you're going to be healthy. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'm like,
how dare you?
I was just so boggled, but I think it put it in perspective for him because he ended up closing.
Sure.
But like, if you ever ask someone like, oh man, I had someone tell me today even, she's like, oh, I want to talk to the kids.
The kids?
A 6-year-old. I said, oh, well, if you don't mind me asking, like, what's that conversation going to be like?
Goo goo gaga.
Is it okay for mommy to go to the gym?
Yeah. Like, and some people, they stumble and they don't answer, and you don't close everyone, right?
Sure.
You don't close everyone. But to see their response, I mean, that just helps with whatever the next step might be. Some people, the next step is closing. Some people, the next step is relieving them because they don't know how to close the conversation because they're so nervous or whatever. My job's to comfort them, so we have that relationship throughout the experience. But some people, no matter what you do, what you say, how you work with them, they just will not close that same day. And they don't know, like, you built such a great relationship with them, they don't know how to tell you, like, no, I'm not doing this right now, because they trust.
Yeah.
So with that, what do you think separates a good sales rep from a really great sales rep?
The biggest thing is how you bounce back from a negative interaction.
Okay.
So let's say a good sales rep they work with someone said, hey, I'm coming in and I'm paying today and that's it. I got this. I'm going to ball out over there. And then the boss asks like, oh, what you got today? And the sales rep is like, yo, I got one. He's coming in. He's balling. He's buying the best packages. He's coming for sure. I got one. Then the guy shows up and he's like, yeah, I lied.
I'm not balling.
He's like, I came because I said I would, but yeah, nah. Yeah, good. Hey, but you know what they say? Man, you're good at your job. They love to say that. Like, man, I just want to tell you, like, you are so good at your job. And
I'm not getting a membership, but
hey, you got a card?
Good.
You got a card? I want to tell my friends how good of a job you did. You got a card? And then that guy comes back, and a good sales rep, maybe, and, he's goes in the office, like, sales manager, oh, you got it? He comes in like, no, I don't got it. No, this happened, blah, 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 whatever. And he sits there, and that rep, everything you're doing after that matters, So are you allowing that to resonate with you on that next phone call? Are you allowing that to resonate with you with that next client? So someone else comes in ready to buy, but you're in such a bad mood that you turn them off, Or the great sales rep, that happens, and then the guy comes in, he's like, oh, I'm just playing. And you're like, what? And like, we were laughing. You laugh about it. You're like, oh, you know what? I really thought I had one today. I said, but I guess not. So then you go back in the office. You're like, nah, he played me. Whatever. On to the next one. So when you brush those off, that's what takes you from good to great, because minutes matter. And those minutes, the efficiency that you have brings that much more to your bucket and pipeline.
If you're wasting time feeling sad because you didn't close that deal, you're probably wasting the opportunity to get someone else.
And you're ruining the experience for someone else that maybe would have converted, So if you're spending an hour, 2 hours, some people, it ruins their whole day or their whole week, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And those people you always see, they get paid $100,000 less than someone doing the same exact job.
And bouncing back quicker.
Exactly. And moving on, like moving on. It's like when someone hangs up the phone in your face. Are you going to call him back 2 times, 3 times because you're pissed? Like, oh, I'm going to show him. Or he hangs up in your face and you're like, oh, okay, well, that's low class. And I have a luxury product. We don't deal with low class. So I'm going to move on.
Hell yeah, dude.
That's pretty good.
The mentality. That's the biggest difference between good to great.
Dude, I like that.
Yeah. So what do you think was your first real sales win, or like your favorite one, where you just felt this great sense of accomplishment? You were like, wow, I'm really proud of myself for actually getting that.
When you ask that question, one thing, I worked at a different facility where we would sell like VIP memberships, and nobody got paid. Like, it's a non-commissionable sale.
Interesting.
Yeah, so like, let's say the membership's like $300 a month. If I sold you a VIP, you'd pay like $150.
Oh God, okay.
Yeah. So
I was thinking the opposite.
Yeah, I was thinking
it was
a little
I was like,
more.
how would you not get paid for a VIP? But it's like you're paying less because of
It's like
the cloud or something.
family and friends, no fees, nothing, just straight up $150 a month, like super cheap. Hell of a deal.
Yeah.
And we needed one more to hit like the monthly goal. And I called this lady earlier. And this story I'm telling you is like 2019.
So not even that long ago.
6 years.
Oh my God, I guess that was much longer ago than I scratch that.
6
Time is unexistent in my world, clearly. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
The facility that I was at was 24/7 at the time. And I spoke to this lady earlier that day. And it was for her and her kid. And it was like $300 a month. And she's like, that's too expensive. I want it to be at 200, blah, blah, blah. And there was this big bonus that everyone would have gotten. And back in that time, we did like closeouts. Like the last 3 days, everyone works like 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. That's
Closing deals.
That's how we're working. So it was the last day of the month, and I called this lady back. It was like 9 p.m. And I called her, didn't answer. I called her again. She didn't answer. I called her a third time, 9 p.m. Calling this lady, triple tap, this mom. She's like, what? Who is this? Blah, blah, blah.
She's trying to put her kid to bed, and here's Erhan.
And I
Bing,
told
bang,
her,
boom.
look, I said, I know you want it to be at this price. I said, if you come in tonight, has to be tonight. I don't care what time. Has to be tonight, before 11:30. Check, because she's like, I want to check out the club. I said, it has to be tonight. I'll give you this subscription at half the price, $150 a month. 50 less than you expect. So she comes in at 10:30 with her kid. With her kid at 10:30.
Half asleep.
Yeah, and I whip them around and I close them. And I closed the unit that got the team to goal, but I didn't get paid on. And I like stayed late for it. And at the time, we're 100% commission, so it's not like I was getting some hourly or something like that.
Yeah. You took one for the team.
Yeah, I took one for the team, and it got us across the win line. And they got me like some shaker cup and stuff, MVP.
But of course, everyone's getting their bonuses, so they're waving they fanning themselves off with them hunted. They're like, Erhan, you the man, baby. You the man.
100%. But that was the biggest win because it's like I gave it all and I didn't get anything from it.
Yeah.
And I think that would
selfless.
probably, jump into the category of a great versus a good sales rep, right? Like just that.
The thought, like, oh, we need one. Oh, I spoke to this lady today and she said, okay, I'll be right back. And to go. And then to have the balls to triple tap, Some people are like, oh, I don't want to bother people. I don't want to get a call at 9. So
I didn't get an answer the first time. I shouldn't bother them.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Hey, Miss Lady.
You naggy bastard.
Yeah, this is the guy. Remember me? She's like, what?
That kind of brings me to a good question in my mind is like, I only know about sales from what I've learned from you guys, but before that it's really just what I've seen on TV, movies and shit. But like, I think the idea of like a sales rep's kind of being like all for themselves, I think is a pretty common trope of like, hey, if you're a sales rep, you're in it for you and no one else. And like, do you think that's accurate? And 2, do you think that's actually conducive for the success of a sales team? Not even just the business, but like a team.
Well, when you play as a team, there's different plays that you call.
Sure.
Right? Like any sport. And I always compare it to sports. And there have actually been times where I sit in the office and I look at the team, and not at the club I'm at now because it's just me and one guy, but prior to, there's like 5 of us. Mm-hmm. I look at the team and I'm like, look, the best thing you can do right now is be as selfish as possible. Everyone do your part. Everyone get one. And that's what we got to do. So you find one, you find one, you find one, you find whatever you got to do.
And work it.
Dig in, work it, close it. We're all getting paid. Then there's other times where, you don't work a certain day. And we have a number to hit. So then you throw your pipeline onto me and then I work it for you, so we work as a team. So it's not necessarily I'm in it for myself. It's one team, one goal, right?
It's like when you're working as a team in the building, it's like you being selfish is benefiting the team.
Right.
A little bit.
At times.
Yeah.
At times. Then there's politics that get involved, right? Like, oh, you stole one from me. You stole one from me and blah, blah, blah. But you move on from those times. There's people that row against the flow and you identify those people pretty quickly and you check them or they got to jump ship, and you cut them from your team.
Got it.
You don't want to have like a toxic environment, where you're coming in and you look over your shoulder. When
Yeah,
you're
last thing you
working.
want on top of getting a shitload of rejection from people all the time is to like
Look
also
over your shoulder and
look over your shoulder too.
Exactly right. You want to feel good with who you're working with.
I have a question. And it just escaped my brain. I'm gonna see if it jumps back in 3, 2. No, it didn't. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, guys. Felt like it was a doozy too. Felt like it was a good one. We'll come back.
Okay, so obviously you've been in sales for a long time, right? And you've built a skill like throughout the years you've been doing it. But what was a moment where you actually sat back and thought, like, I'm really good at this?
Man, you know what? I was working in Chicago at the time, and I started a landscaping company. In February, there were 2 times, and they both happened at different points in my life. One before I matured, which I was 18. Second, when I was 23. The first time was when I first got hired. I got hired in August. And in November, that Black Friday, I sold 27 units in one day.
Damn.
Shit.
And the next guy behind me had like 17. And he was like a big time veteran. And they were sending like emails. The company sent me like $1,000 gift cards to Amazon. They gave me a TV, like all this stuff.
Brand new car.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
Like the price is right. And I hit the jackpot. $1,000 when you're 18, just randomly given to you. That's a lot.
$1,000 at 30 is a big deal, player. Holy shit. Let alone at 18.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll take $1,000 gift card today.
Man, it blew my mind. And I guess I didn't realize what I was doing because I was just having fun with it. I'm 18. I'm working out.
You're having a good time.
I'm wearing suits.
You're vibing.
I'm feeling fly. Because remember, I came from Men's Warehouse. So
that's where you got your suits from?
I was fly.
Yeah, so you were like, yo, like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to look good.
I was looking real good. I had abs. I'm working out. I'm feeling good. So I'm looking to my left and right at the offices next to me. And these guys are 35, 40, 30, doing the same job that this kid fresh out of high school is doing. And at a way lower level than I was doing it. That's when I was like, man,
I got something.
I'm pretty good at this. Like, all right. And it was so natural to me, in that moment. So that's what was also eye-opening to me. That I wasn't forcing anything. I was just being myself, and people were digging it, because people like you or they don't.
It was enough to close the deal, just you being yourself and just, tapping into what you've learned along the way in that time.
So that Black Friday of 2018 kind of blew my mind and put things in perspective. But then also February of 2022, I had a landscaping company. In February of 2022, the Chicagoland area got a lot of snow. So I was plowing snow at the time too. So it was like I started work at Chicago with my sales job like 7 a.m. and I lived 2 hours away. So I drove 2 hours there, left at like 5, got there at 7, worked from 7 to pretty much 7. And then from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., drove 2 hours back home at 9 p.m., and then worked all the way from 9 p.m. to like 6 a.m. plowing snow, and then went back to the Chicagoland area, 8 a.m., no sleep, and then I closed like all these deals that day too. And then I went back home, slept 3 hours, kept plowing, because usually when it snows, there's like 2 days of snow, to be cleared during the storm, and then the after effects, because the wind blows the snow around.
Sure.
So over the span of 48 hours, I slept like 3 hours, and I was still closing. And I was running around, whipping it, talking to these people, closing them, getting out, putting over. I would literally change into like a snowsuit with overalls and stuff at the Chicago club and leave. And people are like, what the hell are you dressed like that for? I literally looked like you could just see my eyes, And I'm leaving, I'm getting in the truck, and I'm driving the truck, I'm going. And then I'm coming back, and I'm taking all this stuff off at the Chicago club, and then I'm showering over there, getting dressed, putting this nice suit on and whatever. And they're like, what the hell are you doing? And then I'm closing, just like a machine. And that's when I knew. I'm like, I got this. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. It's like the training. I don't need the training.
No, I got this.
Dude, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I could just tell by like how excited you get talking about it. Like it's like, I'm sure a very like empowering moment.
It was a crazy time. Yeah, it was a crazy time.
I did remember my question finally. Are you involved in like the hiring of sales reps at all? Like or have you ever been kind of involved in that process?
I don't, they asked me to interview and I said no.
Got it.
Because I don't get paid for that.
Sure. The thing the thing that I'm not sure we talk about enough. I don't think we talk enough about, because we brought it up earlier as it pertains to like AI kind of filtering resumes and stuff. And it's like, you know, and we can kind of look at it from a hypothetical sense in your case, since you're not involved in that process. But like, if someone again was looking to get into this for the first time and not have any experience, like what would you suggest? What type of skills, what type of buzzwords would you suggest that they put on a resume in order to not just end up in a trash pile of like, hey, if you want to be considered seriously in the sales world, like these are some skills you're going to need to have on that resume, highlighted, top of the list kind of shit, you know?
Oh man, I have no idea.
Really?
Yeah, I would.
No, that's real.
Because there's stuff that's like super general.
Sure.
That I haven't even studied the AI filtering to see if it's a keyword.
We could pretend like AI isn't filtering these out, but like still, like as a human who's looking at resumes and you're looking at this person versus that, like, is there anything that you would maybe put on your resume?
I would put communications. I would put public speaking because it shows confidence. I would put critical thinking skills. That's like the critical thinking skills is like number one.
Yeah.
Because in sales, you get put in situations where you're solving people are coming to you and pretty much if
you're improving really, like based off of what they tell you in any given moment.
All right, so what's this guy's problem? All right, he needs a car. That's the problem. All right, let's figure this out. You know, what's this guy's problem? Oh, he's been thinking about the gym for so long and he hasn't moved his ass on it. All right, so let's figure this out, you know? So critical thinking, I would say number one. Relationship building, super important. Communication skills, you know, Microsoft, Excel, CRM, customer relation management system, CRMs.
Sweet. Thanks for defining that because I had no idea what that meant. Dope.
Prospecting, cold calling, stuff like that.
So get comfortable on the phone. It used to like
super comfortable. I mean,
because I've been a hiring manager for different positions and shit like that, and like the amount of people who apply that like have zero phone experience outside of texting it's so bizarre to me because I grew up in an era where like up until I was in high school, that was all you did was call. Like we didn't have text and shit.
Back when texting was 10 cents.
Yeah, back when we had to pay for that shit. But like,
you got free nights and weekends.
Like cold calling is still a big part of the sales game, really.
100%. Yeah,
it's like if you're not comfortable on a phone, like you might want to find something else.
It's not for you. Yeah, do something else. Do something else. 100%. Do something else.
Are there any certifications you need to be a sales rep? Like just generally, like in fitness, there's certifications. To be a tennis coach, there's certifications. But like for sales, it's like, is there any sort of like education process outside of collegiate that it's like, hey, you know what, you really need this, or like
nothing that's like a certificate, like hey, I completed this or whatever. But there's like certain skills. I've had Ron in the office before. Ron was a trainer, and I sat him down in the office. I'm like, all right, Ron, here's what we're gonna do. All right, you sit down. And we're going to make calls, and I'm going to stare at you, and I'm going to be 6 inches away from your face. And you need to have a whole conversation with them while I'm staring at you. And he looked at me like, what? I said, all right. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to press record on my phone, and you're going to leave a fake voicemail, and I'm going to be like really close in your face.
Hey, that's getting reps in, man.
And Ron's like, what the hell are we doing that? Why are you so close? But the point of the exercise was I can talk to whoever, however, regardless of the circumstance. You know, so I'm juggling 3 balls and I'm having a conversation about what you're looking for, how I can help, blah, blah, blah. So I'm comfortable through discomfort.
Sure.
So
someone throwing a 4th ball at you ain't going to throw you off.
No.
You're like, I'm juggling 3, but I'm ready for the 4th.
No, and I'm going to keep the conversation going. I'm going to keep you thinking too. You're like, oh man, I didn't think of that. Like, what, you know, why do you ask that? Like, why that so specifically? So that was the point of the conversation because Ron just started. So it's like, oh, hey, Erhan, I'm trying to fill my books. Like, how can I get more clients? And then my answer was, yes, sit down and I'm going to sit right next to you and make a call. That was my answer. He's like, what?
But you know what's so crazy though? That's paying it forward. Like shout out to your first mentor who at 18 hired you to be a sales rep and put you through the ringer of like, hey, you know, you have a lot of talent, but we need to figure this shit out and you need to get good. Like, you know, that's paying it forward, dude. Like
100%.
That's sharing the knowledge. That's sharing the wealth. You gotta.
Yeah, no, I was so confused at first, and I didn't know what he was talking about, and I was like, I don't want to do that shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not doing this.
There was another sales guy in here. I'm like, all right, you look at him too. Yeah, oh, we'll both look at you.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, like, no, like, get away from me. I'm out of here.
He's like, all
but
right, you're fucking weird, dude. Like,
but like, I understood it after the fact, right? Because then I started like, because I think I said no at first, but then I came back to him, and I was like, okay,
let's do it.
Let's do it, because I really need to like close these members, right? I need to build these books here, right? But yeah, after, you know, staying with him a couple times, dude, my books, you were in my position before. You seen, they were just like, what the fuck is Ron doing?
Yeah, why is he closing so much?
Yeah.
That's the problem.
And the thing is, like, so like being around someone who all of a sudden gets a burst of I don't want to say good luck, because again, it's a lot of skill and a lot of knowledge and a lot of like repetition that you're getting in. But like when you see someone kind of taking off like that, it does sort of spark that like ripple effect of all of a sudden everyone's kind of like, okay, what is Ron doing though? And like
they always think it's secret sauce.
Yeah, it's like, well, Ron's doing this, and it's like, no, he's just leveraging the people around him and networking and
he's just picking up the phone
and just like picking up the phone and actually just like applying the what he's learning to a real world situation, and it's just paying off. Like, it's not just asking for the sake of asking; it's asking for the sake of wanting to be better.
Right? Yeah. Like asking with a purpose.
Yeah, and like actually doing it. Like, don't ask for an opinion and be like, "Oh, cool, I got some advice, but I'm not going to do it. I just wanted to just know."
Right?
It's like, dude, actually apply it, dude. Do it. Come on, son.
No, that was funny.
That shit matters.
I remember that day. He's like, what
the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, he's like, dude, back up. First of all, back
space.
up. Yeah, he's like, first of all,
you all up in my grill.
Yeah. I said, no. I said, I got a great idea. I'm going to be like really, really close to you. He's like, what? So confused.
No, I didn't understand that method at all.
Preparing or expecting the unexpected, man. You got to get used to it.
Yeah. But no, it was like, it was weird because it was like a method to the madness in like a sense, because it really helped, because it made me focus on like, okay, no matter what pressure's around, right? No matter who's looking at you or who's judging you, like you still have to perform.
Yeah.
Right. And even more in that case. So I think that situation really helped, that scenario that he put me in.
Yeah,
Ron sees it live too. Sometimes he sits behind me and he hears me talking to the people and he's like, man, like, I don't know, like that one was weird, but you still worked with it. Or, and then he's seen me, like, you speak differently to different people. He's seen me with like an 80-year-old couple, you know, and you really take your time, like let them feel like they're heard and understood. Then he's seen me with like a union elevator guy, super rough, and, you know, talking to him that way. And I have that through my like carpentry experience and stuff like that. So being able to adapt to who's in front of you, but not just some fake persona. Like, it's still who I am. Yeah. I'm just exercising different characteristics that
like the ability to relate to somebody is like a really strong suit in you that I've noticed. Yeah. Like no matter what their field is, you even if you didn't do it, like you have some type of understanding of how to relate to them in that way.
Yeah. And making them understand that it's not like, even if it is way over my head, like someone's like, oh yeah, I'm a rocket scientist. Yeah, I'm a data analytic engineer for SpaceX, and I'm like, well, I don't know what that is, but this is cool, right? You know.
But like, hey, I know this thing.
Yeah,
maybe it's like your thing.
They're like, all right, yeah, never mind. So then sometimes they kind of get a laugh out of it. I'm like, all right, so if you explained it to like a third grader and you told them what you do all day, like, what would you say? And that's always a good way for me to better understand.
Yeah.
And it helps them get an understanding of my level of understanding. Like, I have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
You're the third grader in this
scenario.
Exactly. Honestly, but like that's, I'm sure to some degree too, that is a level of like giving them like that sense of like power of the moment. Like they, like, you know, like kind of like you said at the beginning, it's like they think they're steering the conversation, but really you're just learning a lot about them and how to further steer the conversation into making the sale. It's like, if they tell you, oh, I'm a rocket scientist for SpaceX, and you're like, yeah, don't know anything about that. I'm sure to them that's kind of like, oh, I'm the smartest one in the room right now. And you're like, sure you are.
More importantly,
sure you are.
More importantly, what it shows them is genuinity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like confidence and comfortability in yourself. Like, hey, I don't know that.
Yeah, instead of, if you always have an answer for something, that's not good.
Got it.
You know, like, oh, I'm a rocket scientist. Oh, well, that's perfect. Well, have you studied E equals MC squared before? they're like, oh yeah, I have. So
they're like, yeah, third grade, bitch.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, I have. You're like, oh, okay. Well, when was Einstein born? You know, you're like,
Yeah, you don't have to know
You
everything.
do this dance with them,
Yeah.
and you're not gonna outdance them.
Yeah.
You know, then
Just own it.
You can, just own it. Like, oh man, like I have no idea what that is. But then, since there's truth in that, they'll find truth in what else, and solace in whatever else you say. Like, so at the end, like, you know what, Ron? We talked about this. I know you're a little hesitant, but this is really gonna be a good fit for you, man. Because didn't you mention this, and this? They're like, yeah, I did mention that. All right, so let's just, maybe we don't do this option, but let's just move forward with this option. At least your foot's in the door, you know, and you kind of get things flowing. And they're like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
That is tricky, man, because it's true. It's like, you know, you establish that comfortability and that trust of just being okay not knowing anything of what they do, right? Or I say smarter, but it's not about that. But like, you know, it's like the concept of them having a leg up over you in something. And like so many people are quick to get defensive and be like, well, you don't have a leg up on me for X, Y, or Z because like, you know, or some skirt around it. And it's like, you don't have to do that. You can be okay not knowing how to do shit.
Right.
And again, like to your point, it kind of establishes more trust. Like it's like, hey, he's not going to pretend to know what I do. He's not going to fluff me up or stroke my ego. He's just going to say, hey, I don't know anything about that. I'm curious to learn more. But
next topic.
Here's something I do know. And it's like, I'm more inclined to believe you because you were honest.
Or like, oh man, I never met someone that does that before.
Yeah.
You know, and they're like, oh.
I know nothing about that, but that's cool. I love that you do. Any couple, I know we're kind of getting close to time there, gentlemen. Any other questions for our boy?
The last one I could probably think of is, you know, as trends tend to change, what is kind of the most thing a potential member or a person coming in is interested in the gym? Is it like the culture? Is it the environment? Is it the workout machines? Is it the classes, events, stuff like that?
And I'll even take that question further on top of that. Like, what do you see as being the most important, like as the sales industry grows and changes? Like, what are people looking for?
I think that it's become like a fad, kind of like you see it everywhere on social media. So people are like, oh, health and wellness, you know, take care of yourself. But some people, they get memberships as like a talking chip. Like they get a Planet Fitness membership and never use it. But, oh yeah, I have a gym membership. When you talk to them, oh yeah, I have a gym membership because they pay $9 a month or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, and places like that, there are some people that get memberships and they go. They don't necessarily see results, but they're putting in that effort and going, but they don't want to spend too much, you know? So they spend the $40-$50 on places like that. So while they're going, and it's become so popular through social media, it's like overpopulated. So people coming to this product, which I sell now, it's more of a luxury product, not because of the offerings necessarily, but because of the experience and maintenance. So people are coming in looking for privacy. You know, there's not cameras all over and people shooting TikToks of their videos and stuff like that.
Big one in our post-COVID social media
They're
era.
They're looking for a maturity. So maturity in demographic, meaning not a senior club, but a higher average, you know, median age. It's not like high school kids that are flooding the floor from 4 to 7 p.m. and stuff like that.
And I'm sure some of it too, like it's a mind frame too. They, like you said with the TikToks, like they don't mind kids being here, but they don't want the kids that are loitering on equipment, taking photos and making it all about that.
Right, exactly.
The maturity for that in that sense.
The most important thing I would say is cleanliness and availability. You know, if people love going to a space that's clean, spacious, and so they're not stumbled on top of each other, where it feels stuffy, and they love to be efficient with their time, you know, because this is something that people prioritize, but they also are squeezing into their day. Their day is not revolving around this. This revolves around the rest of their day. So if they are spending half of that time like waiting on equipment or stuff's always broken, they're paying for something that's pissing them off.
Yeah, and time is valuable. And if they're wasting time because it's something they want isn't available, it feels an even bigger waste more than just financial even.
Yeah, exactly. So they're looking for the biggest thing when they're coming here: cleanliness, spaciousness, and availability. Dude, I would say.
Freaking love it. Ron, any last minute questions, my friend?
Yeah, I'll give you one more. What is your biggest sales pet peeve? Like something that could bother you maybe from a member side or from like, you know, even like another sales rep side that you see them doing? Or
I hate when people try to take advantage of one another, because, you know, there's there's a symptom and there's the actual sickness, right? So like I've had new people come on my team and they would fill my books with their appointments. And I would close all of them for them because they didn't have the confidence to close it. But I don't get paid on that. You know, I'm happy to be a team player, but like I'm not here working for you, right. You know? So I'm doing all your appointments and you're making calls or whatever. So people that the symptom is booking me, right? The problem is, or the sickness is not having that confidence in yourself. So if you ask the question like, hey, you're available, why am I doing all your work for you? Like, I'm not your spider or anything like that. Like, book your own appointments, do your own tours, close your own people. Like, stop booking me. Oh, well, I just want to see how you do it. Oh, well, I want you to do it for me. Oh, well, I'm not as confident. And, you know, I just want help. And I'm happy to help. But I'm not doing, every day I come in, I'm doing 3 for you. And then I end up with 1 or 0. You know, so that's like my biggest pet peeve when people they see the skill and then they try to take advantage. And they don't even communicate. You know, they just dump it in your calendar and it's like, oh, deal with it. You know, here's my shit. You deal with it. And I'm like, what? And then they think it's like when someone owes you money and you ask them for your money back and you have that feeling like, oh, should I ask them now? Like, hey, can you give me my $20 back? Like you feel awkward.
Yeah.
So they put you in a position where you don't necessarily feel awkward, but you're like, hey, like, what do you keep doing this for? Like, stop booking me. Like, you're here working, do your job. You know, stop booking me. If you have a question or you don't feel confident, let's work on that confidence and ask me questions and ask me how I'm doing it, what I'm doing, what I'm saying, when I'm cueing things, and let's work on that instead of just dumping it and, you know, washing your hands of it and not thinking about it anymore.
You'd love it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my final question, and this was an easy, like kind of just the one I like to always end on is for someone, either whether they're young, whether they're old, whether they're, you know, our age or whatever, looking to get into the sales industry, whether it be in any field, what would be the one bit of advice that you say, hey, if you want to get into this and be successful, this is what you need to get good at, or this is what you need to know. It could be anything you want. I'll ask you right now, as someone who doesn't know in sales, if I was going to ask you right now, Erhan, I want to be I want to do what you do. I want to be a sales rep. I want to cash checks and break some necks, player. But I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. How do I start? What do I need to get good at?
I would do improv.
Improv. All right. No, I think that's freaking great.
I really like that. Like I saw a skit where it was like, all right, we're going to tell a story and we're going to start with a letter of the alphabet and the next word needs to be using the next letter.
Some real improv. I'm familiar with improv games for sure.
So it's like, all right, so let's tell a story. Okay, start with the letter A. So then the guy's like, A. Okay, then your letter's B. Broken. C. Cat. What?
Broken cat. Yeah.
Broken cat. Okay, D. Now, and you need to come up with it quick. And improv, it's silly, but it's actually real because it helps with critical thinking. Like you're using your mind.
Thinking
on
your feet. The spot. Yeah.
Yeah, you're on the spot. It's timed. You know, there's an audience. People are watching you. And you need to come up with something quick and move.
It helps you work under pressure.
Exactly.
Especially in sales where I'm sure a lot of the time people come in wanting you to fuck up. They're like, oh, they want you to mess up. They want you to say something you're not supposed to. And it's like,
you can get completely sideswept. I worked with a lady the other day and she was like crazy. Like I'm talking to her and she's like stands up in front of me. And I'm like, okay, like what's going on? And she has this like frown on her face. She's like, don't you see the problem? And like waves her hands up and down her body. And I'm like,
no.
First, what should I say? Yeah.
It's a trap. Run.
What should I say? Like, oh yeah, I see that's bad.
Yeah, I'm gonna circle the problem here. Just circle the whole thing.
No. And then I look at her like confused. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, are you okay? What's going on? And she's like, my foot, it rotates out. You don't see it. Do you need glasses? I'm like, improv would be great for that. Like, okay, I'm in a situation. She's being a bitch. So, you know, what am I going to say? You know, how am I going to respond to this? All right. Yeah, your foot is cocked. Yeah, it is. All right. So what else do you think? What else? Anything else? And I throw it back on her real quick and I make it light.
Sure.
But she's like throwing,
she's throwing curveballs at you.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. But you gotta, if you expect everything to be the same and you stumble, then that's the problem.
yeah.
Like let's say, I expected you to come in and you want it for you and you want to lift weights and you have questions about weights. Like if you come up with this persona in your head and you're not like just with an open mind ready to know this person, like you asked me, what are you thinking when you're going up? Like, I'm just going to get to know this person, see what they want, where they've been, how they buy, and how I can connect them here. As long as I go up with that mindset, I don't care what you say, what you do, how you act, I'm going to have some kind of response. And it's going to be genuine because I know I'm ready for whatever you're going to throw at me.
Heck yeah, dude. Erhan, I think I speak on it for all of us, dude. Thank you so much for your time. Billy, Ron, any parting words, anything like that?
Yeah, man. Thank you for coming and hanging out with us and dropping some serious insight into the world of sales with strategy, a mindset, and everything in between. And we hope everybody that's been listening gets some value from this episode today and able to use this or even share it with someone in your network. And also feel free to send us an email on a field that you would like us to interview somebody on, or if you want us to talk about a specific field that you're in and tell your story, feel free to send it to us.
Definitely, please. And that email is outoftherut@yahoo.com. Please, all your stories, whether they be feel-good stories of how you got out of ruts, if questions about how to get out of your ruts, or just suggestions on people to interview, we take it all. Erhan, if anyone wanted to reach out to you personally and ask you questions, is there a way that they can reach out to you? An email, a social channel of any sort?
Yeah, you could email me. My email is KALKANERHAN @yahoo.com. So my last name, first name at Yahoo.
Awesome. Yeah, hit him up.
Still use Yahoo.
Oh, yeah, same.
So do I.
Samesies.
Yeah.
But guys, as always, thank you so much for kicking it with us. This was Xavier.
Billy.
This is Ron.
And you've been listening to Out of the Rut. Stay sharp, stay curious, and keep closing, whatever that means to you. And we'll catch you guys on the flip-flop. Later!